Hello everyone, and welcome to cp460, the history of American cinema. I have a good class planned for you this semester. I hope you enjoy it. If you haven't had me before, I'm Dr. Michelle Lee. If you have, welcome. I'm glad to have you back. This semester, we're going to be taking a slightly different approach to studying film history, in that we're not just studying a chronological time period, we're also looking at sections of film history, basically delineated via genres. So the class is separated into two modules each week. The first module will be a historical time period in American filmmaking, and the second module will be a rather compressed look at sort of the history of a genre within American filmmaking. And I've tried to include both historic films and contemporary films so you can see how much film has advanced throughout American film history, but also how much both genres have changed, but also how much they've stayed the same. And so you should be looking for similarities and differences between the different time periods, and thinking about how genres may have changed, how they've been combined, but also then what does it mean for the future of American filmmaking. So, the class is also split into two locations. You have to check both places. All of our discussion will take place on the blog. You all have gotten emails on how to log in, and most of you have already done your first post. So all of the discussions will take place on the blog. If you are in charge of leading discussion for a particular module, I've already set up the page under the different modules, so you should go in, and the discussion leaders can go ahead and start posting their discussion questions or prompts, or getting people to think about what it is we're talking about that day. The second part that is important to consider and to remember is that you need to check both sites, both the SIU Online and the blog posts. So part of the discussion on the blog is that it's not just someone posts questions and then you answer the question and never come back. You should actually be having a discussion. So go ahead and answer the questions, but you should also be interacting with each other's comments. This is actually, I've found in the past, this is a great opportunity for those of you that may actually be more quiet in class. This is usually an opportunity where people feel more comfortable making comments and suggestions and talking about their opinions and thoughts about American cinema. Okay. The other thing you need to know is that on SIU Online there will be quizzes. I will send you an email to let you know that there's a quiz posted. You'll be going on to the quizzes on SIU Online, taking it online. It'll be timed, so make sure you've got at least a half an hour to do the quiz. All of your assignments will be posted to SIU Online in Dropboxes. There's already a Dropbox created for your first assignment, which is a short essay. Please note that the essays are not all due at the same time. Because there's so many of you in class and there's just me, in order to make sure that everyone gets their assignments graded in a timely manner, because the 8-week class is rather short, we've got a lot of work to do. The short essay assignments are going to be staggered for submission. On the calendar on both the website, the blog, and on SIU Online, the calendar lists when your group is leading discussion, but it also lists when your paper is due. Pay attention to that. You cannot submit your paper after midnight without severe penalties, so get the papers in. The assignment for the short essay is already posted as part of the Dropbox. I will also post the assignment on the blog, so all the assignments will be listed with descriptions of what you need to do. For those of you that are leading discussion, okay, you should have done the reading for that day and watched the films. In leading discussion, think about what issues are raised in the reading and how those issues may be connected to the films that I've posted for you to see. In some cases, I'm posting films that you may have already seen before, but I'm also trying to post things that are maybe a little bit off your radar. So think about how the films connect to the readings, but also what this means about film history. Think about who's telling the stories, and by that I mean not just the writers, but also the directors. Pay attention to producers, set designers, actors, actresses, because all of these people are part of film history, and unfortunately a lot of film history sort of gets focused on the directors. But especially in relation to your final assignment, I want you to also be thinking about about how these films connect to potential sort of histories that are not a mainstream history. So what does it mean that I've included films by female directors? When you still pick up a history book, a lot of the names you read are still male. So what does it mean? One of the films we have in class in the screenings is a film, one of the oldest known films of a Native American Indian. So what are some of the histories that you can tell that are not just mainstream history, and those histories that you are doing your final project on can interact with mainstream history, and I'm assuming that they will, but also think of ways in which they diverge from mainstream history. That will be all for now. I will come back with more sort of thoughts and discussions on the different topics, so stay tuned for that. Also, as a side note, just this class, because it's online and I think it would be really boring for you to sit there and watch me talk for an hour, will not have sort of typical lectures. More what it'll be is me highlighting some of the things that you should pay attention to in the book, but also bringing to your attention other things in the way, and making some connections to not only the readings but the films, but in addition to other films that we're not screening in class. Because in a perfect world we would have hours and hours and hours to screen. So again, the lectures won't be sort of typical standard lectures, but hopefully they'll be enjoyable, and I'll bring some new insight to the topics we're discussing. Feel free to, when you're leading discussion, feel free to do videos. You don't have to type everything. You can include pictures, clips, anything you want to bring to the table. You're more than welcome to. And that's it for now. See you later.